And good morning. Thank you for being here. I am Pharmacist Ben. Welcome to the Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number as always, and we love hearing from you as always, even though we don't hear from you a lot. We love hearing from you. 844-236-6010 is our number if you have questions, comments, success stories, if you want to get off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, if you've used the longevity products and want to share, or if you've used our True Skin Health products and you want to share, or if you got on a nutritional supplement program and it changed your life and you want to share, we'd love to hear from you. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you want to purchase longevity products, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And you can also click on the Join the Team link. If you want to sign up to join the Brightside Ben team and start a longevity business, be your own boss, be an entrepreneur. It's not for everybody, that's for sure. The entrepreneurial lifestyle is for warriors only. And I've been an entrepreneur pretty much my whole adult life. Even when I was a kid, I had a paper route and sold magazines. Being an entrepreneur is a great way to live your life. It's a great way to have control over your life. It's a great way to have the joy of succeeding at a project. I really encourage people, if you're in the bubble, it doesn't even have to be the longevity business. The longevity business is cool for starters because it gives you everything you need. And it gives you a protocol, a pattern, a formula that if you follow, it's guaranteed to work. But any entrepreneurial project, any entrepreneurial thing that you do is going to improve your life if you do it correctly, if you do it with the right attitude. That's the key. That's the key to anything, is doing it with the right attitude. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. What you do doesn't matter. How you do it is everything. How we live our lives is everything. What we do in our lives is not anywhere near as important as how we do what we do. The visible world comes from the invisible world. What's on the outside starts off on the inside. David Bohm, who is a Nobel Prize-winning physicist, considered to be just as smart as Albert Einstein or any other Nobel Prize-winning physicist. David Bohm used to talk. He talked about the implicate order and the explicate order. The explicate order is everything we see; it's exterior. The implicate order is where the explicate comes from, where the inside or where the outside comes from. The outside always comes from the inside. That is so darn important. It's about our psychology more than our physiology when it comes to the body. And I know I'm talking about nutritional supplements and chemistry, and I love chemistry, but the major control point for our biochemistry is our thoughts, the invisible world, our psychology. This is the crisis that we're dealing with today, in my opinion. It's not a physical virus, it's a mind virus. This is an opportunity for us to be psychologically skilled. Everything that's going on in our world today is an opportunity for us to be able to hone our minds, to sharpen our minds like we sharpen a knife. It's an information war out there. The mind virus is the weaponry of the information enemy. It's an information war out there. There's an information enemy, and we have information protection. We can use our critical thinking skills to protect ourselves from bad information. On Thursday, I'm very excited. I've got a couple guests coming up here that are really exciting. On Thursday, we're going to talk to a guy who made up a game called Propaganda, where he talks about critical thinking and the importance of critical thinking. I'm very much looking forward to talking to him. And then almost 180 degrees the opposite. Finally, I'm going to get to talk to some guy on Monday. We're going to have an interview with a guy who thinks everybody should be wearing masks, that we should be doing more contact tracing, the government should get involved in regulating, making sure people are protecting themselves from the virus. Now, I've been looking around for a long time for somebody to come on this program and tell me in an intelligent way why any of the strategies we're using as a culture are important. And this guy not only thinks they're important, he thinks we need to be magnifying them and enhancing them. And I can't wait to hear him tell us about this and answer some questions. That'll be on next Monday. But that's 180 degrees the opposite of what this guy is going to talk to us about in 2 days, on Thursday, on propaganda. And the importance of critical thinking. If you're a critical thinker, you know that you have way more control over your immune system and the way your body responds to the environment, viruses, foods, pollution, chemtrails, fertilizers and pesticides, et cetera, than we're being told. We have an immune system, a defense system. And anytime I hear some talking head doctor on TV, or a politician, or a government doctor, a political doctor, talking about wearing masks and staying inside and hydroxychloroquine, and hydroxychloroquine works, doesn't work, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't tell me about building my immune system and taking vitamin C and exercise and losing weight. By the way, I did my moment of truth yesterday on weight loss in the immune system. I know that he's full of baloney. Because it's way more important to take vitamin C and not to take it, but to make sure you have enough of it, than it is to do any of the things they're telling us to do to hide from a virus. It's way more important to make sure that you're on a nutritional supplement program and not eating sugar. Way more important. And if they're not telling us about that, then either they're ignorant or they're deceitful. And either way, I don't want to listen to them. Anyway, Marianne Spencer's coming up at the bottom of the hour, by the way. Marianne Spencer is a cooking expert, and we're going to talk to Marianne. She's got several books out. She's got a blog. She's got a PBS television show called Simply Delicious Living, and we're going to talk about living your bliss and best life every day. Living your best life every day. I would say every moment, not just every day, every moment. But the point is that if we take life step by step, everything's perfect. Everything's perfect in the moment. The only place it's not perfect is in the future and in the past, which don't even exist. How ironic is that? Everything is perfect in the moment. Think about it. You're listening to this radio program. You're listening to this YouTube video, whatever, your audio, whatever. Right now, you have enough air. You're not freezing cold. You've got clothes. You've got food. Right now, everything's perfect. It's only in the future and only in the past. And because human beings have this ability to project and remember, go into the future and go into the past, we can predict and we can anticipate and we can review and remember. And because we can review and remember, and because we can predict and we can anticipate, we're always predicting and anticipating the worst, and we're always reviewing and remembering the worst. That activates cortisol. That shuts down your immune system. That makes you gain weight. That shortens your lifespan. That raises your blood pressure. That slows down your digestive system and your thyroid and spikes your adrenal glands. You can see where I'm going here. We have so much power, so much control over how our lives show up and over how we respond to our environment. And guess what? The powers that be don't want us to know that. And so if you're getting your information from the news, almost by definition, you're being poisoned. I say almost by definition, probably by definition. The object of the news is to sell deodorant, advertising, to make us buy things, to make us do things. The object of the news is not to inform, it's to manipulate. It's to change our behaviors. So if you're getting your information from the news, you're almost by definition activating your sympathetic nervous system and decreasing your ability to resist whatever's going on in the environment and quality of life. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. Marianne Spencer coming up at the bottom of the hour. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. Okay, we're back on The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for being here. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you have a comment, success story you'd like to share, questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, or this whole pandemic thing that we're dealing with here, love to hear your take on it. 844-236-6010 is our number. The outside comes from the inside. The explicit comes from the implicate. I was reading today about under-eye circles. Under-eye circles don't sound, if you're not in the skin business or you're not really focused on your facial appearance, you probably don't know this, but under-eye circles are considered to be a really big problem in the world of health and beauty. People are all obsessed with under-eye circle products. Everybody wants me to make them an under-eye circle treatment. And you see under-eye circle creams. Let me tell you about under-eye circles. Under-eye circles are the end result of two phenomena. Color, that is darkness, and fluid. Or we'll say three. Looseness, laxity, puffiness, and color. Those are the basic three problems under eye circles. The skin is loose, the skin is puffy, and the skin is colored. But the problem is it's not the skin. Under eye circles aren't about the skin. Under eye circles are either about the connective tissue, underneath the skin, underneath the surface, I'll say. It's not about the surface. It's about the inside. It's about the implicate. It's about the skin is a classic example of the explicate coming from the implicate. We all want to treat the explicate. We all want to treat the skin, but we got to recognize that it's from the inside out. Inside out. And even if you're going to go topical, you should still go from the inside out. Because if you go topical with vitamin C, fat soluble, and you go topical with retinol, and you go topical with polyelectrolytes, and you go topical with alpha hydroxy acids, you're going to affect the inside. That's why all my truth treatments work. They always work. Just got this note. I got this yesterday from Facebook. I was so unbelievably hesitant to suspend the money, but I did. And OMG, what a complete skincare game changer. This has completely changed my skin. In every single day, no more blemishes, no more dry patches, no more hormonal breakouts. My skin is constant, beautiful slate to start the day. Take the plunge. You'll be so thankful and grateful you did. That's from Sophia Chomat. It's on my Facebook page. I don't know this gal, but she just sent it randomly. We get these all the time. It's because we're working on the inside. That's the beauty of the inside. When you work on the inside, you'll always get effects on the outside. When you work on the implicate, you'll always get effects on the explicate. Whether you're talking nutrition, working on the inside to get benefits on the outside, if you want to lower your blood pressure or have better skin or get rid of your rosacea or whatever it is, eczema, you work on the inside. You work on the inside topically by putting things on the top of the skin that will get into the inside, and you work on your psychology to address your physiology. You work on the inside to address the outside. If somebody's trying to tell you to treat the outside, they're doing misdirection, which is a classical trick of magicians to make you look where things aren't happening. Don't fall for it. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. By the way, for under-eye bags, one of the best things you could do is lymphatic massage. You could do it yourself. I have a moment of truth where I talked about it. You just basically press and press your fingers under your eyes and roll them upwards. You can also use ice to do it. All right. 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to Chris in Texas. Good morning, Chris. Welcome to the bright side. What's up, Chris?
Good morning, Ben. It's been a while, and I'm sorry.
I recognize your voice, though. I recognize your voice. You know why I recognize your voice, Chris? Because you're Chris from Texas, but you never sound like you're from Texas.
Okay. I'll take that.
You don't sound like a Texan. Yeah. Okay. No, it's not an insult or a compliment. It's just, go ahead.
Maybe it's because I lived in Colorado for a while. But
sound much more like Colorado.
I had to come back to Texas because, frankly, Colorado has a big-time housing problem, okay? There's not enough housing in Colorado. There really
because everybody wants to live here.
Exactly. I want to talk about sea salt. And
oh, yeah.
I want to make this point because, look, there's a lot of people that are poor and can't afford to buy beyond tangerine on a consistent basis. But the one thing you can do, if you're going to the grocery store, any major grocery store, chances are they're going to have a brand of sea salt. And make sure that it's iodized sea salt. And believe me, even though a container of iodized sea salt might be $2.40 compared to regular table salt, which might be 60 cents, there's a huge difference. And
well worth it. Tastes better, too.
I can tell you this. Oh, absolutely. But not only that, but, like, I was having skin problems. And as soon as I switched from ordinary table salt to sea salt, a certain skin problem went away. So I'm telling you from experience.
Nice. So now when you say iodized sea, I never heard of iodized sea salt. Did you really mean that?
Well, I don't want to name brands.
No, you can name it. I don't care if you name a brand, but is there sea salt where they add iodine? Hang on, Chris. Is there sea salt that they add iodine to? I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, table salt commonly there's iodized and then there's non-iodized. So
that's correct. Well, no, that's not correct. Actually, they're all all table salt is, I think, government mandated to be iodized. And I don't think, and I may be wrong. That's why I'm asking you because I don't know if there's any brands of sea salt where they add iodine to it. Or are you referring to the fact that there's natural iodine in there?
But what I'm saying is you have to pay attention to the label because not all salt that you buy from the grocery store is iodized. So you got to pay attention.
I don't know, Chris. I don't know if that's true. I'm going to have to look into that. I think all salt is iodized, but it's just sodium and chloride and has fillers in there. Sea salt has all your minerals, and it's tastier. And so what your point is, I think, is that if you can't afford Beyond Tangy Tangerine, do sea salt. And that's 100% correct, but I see where you're going with it, because sea salt is a cheap way to get some good minerals or some good elements, for sure. And let me tell you something else about sea salt. When you're using sea salt, or how to use sea salt, first thing in the morning, with like get a quarter teaspoonful, put it in water and sip on it. First thing in the morning, or also if you're under a lot of stress, a lot of duress, that sea salt is going to be like manna to your body. It's going to be like the food of the gods, because it's replacing the most critical, or the most fundamental, we'll say, electrical substance in the body, which is the electrolytes. And as we get under stress, and as we get older, as our body breaks down, we end up with electrolyte deficiencies. And especially if you're going to the bathroom a lot, especially if you drink a lot of water too. And this is one of the places where Beyond Tangy Tangerine, it's one of the reasons why Beyond Tangy Tangerine works so quickly and so effectively, is the electrolytes. But your point's well taken about the sea salt, Chris. I'm not sure about the iodine part, though. I'm going to have to look into that. And thanks for calling. Appreciate it. I want to get one more call in. Our friend Bob has always got something clever to say, but don't be too clever, Bob, because sometimes I don't understand what you're talking about.
Okay. Hey, Brad. I actually have two questions and a comment. I don't know how much time I have.
Comment first.
Okay, comment first. The DNA.
Yeah.
Just like you speak about structured water and the electromagnetic operation of hormones with cells.
Yeah.
In addition to that, DNA, the genetic structure of it is held together electrically.
Listen, Chris, you call me tomorrow. Let's talk about that, because I got to go. Okay. But that is one of my favorite things to talk about, is the electromagnetics of DNA. It's unbelievable. DNA computers are going to be the way we process information in the future. Bob, that's a great subject. I hope you'll call back. But we're out of time. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. Marianne Spencer coming up the bottom of the hour. She's the host of Simply Delicious Living. We're going to talk about how to live your bliss and best life every day. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll be back right after this on The Bright Side. Okay, we're back on The Bright Side, and I am Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for being here. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on our archive page with search engines for various topics. If you miss a program, you can review various pieces of information, listen to different guests and such on our archive page at brightsideben.com and benfuchsarchives.com. And you can also get your longevity products off my blog at pharmacistben.com or criticalhealthnews.com. Lots of videos, lots of news stories, lots of blog posts, etc., good health information. And don't forget to take a look at our Truth Skin Health products, all formulated in my compounding pharmacy. When patients would come in for from healing from wounds or surgical traumas or acne or burns or various skin health issues, I would create and formulate various skincare products for those various conditions. It turns out health is beauty, folks. And when you heal the skin, you beautify it. Never any preservatives, fragrances, fillers, waxes, emulsifiers, water, silicone oil. Nothing your skin doesn't need or doesn't want in any of our True Skin Health products, 100% active and functional. Check out our over 500 reviews at truthreview.com, truthreview.com. They're all available at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Okay, I am excited to have our guest on. Marianne Radini Spencer is the host of the PBS TV show Simply Delicious Living, and that's why I had her on. I invited her, but then I started doing some research, and oh my God, this woman is prolific, has so much to say, and we're going to talk about living your bliss and best life every day. I can think of no better person to talk about living your bliss and best life every day than Marianne Radini Spencer, because it shows in everything you do, Marianne. And I've been checking out your videos.
Thank you.
You're just so full of life and so full of bliss. And let me ask you this: do you find yourself just exploding with creativity and stuff that you want to share with people? Is that what goes on in Marianne's head?
Yeah, that is true. It is absolutely true, and I think I found it because I actually am doing the things that I really want to do now in life.
Amazing.
And, when people find what they want, their purpose, and everyone has a different purpose, but once you put your finger on it, you can really start to live the life you were meant to live and be happy and joyous and share that with people.
Okay, there's so much into it, in what you just said. And interestingly, we have been talking about purpose. We had a guest on yesterday. We talked about purpose, and I asked the guest about this idea of purpose. What exactly is purpose? How does purpose relate to passion? The idea of passion, and how can we use purpose in this crazy time that we're living in to help us not just get through it and survive it, but actually even thrive in it?
Well, I believe in a strange way, this is actually the most perfect time to find your purpose. And the reason why I say that is because everyone has to kind of self-isolate. You know, we have to just be in our own spaces at the moment and be protective when we go out in public. But this situation is forcing us to be quiet, to be at home, to maybe go for walks in nature. We have to think about our life. There's nothing else left to do. We can't go out. We can't go to a ball game. We can't go to the movies in a theater. We can't go to a big event or a big lecture. We can do a lot on our computers and talk to family and friends that, you know, are living with us and things like that. But that forces you to kind of go inside yourself. And I've noticed it for me, you know, because my world, let's say, is a little smaller now. It doesn't have to be small, because what you can do is kind of ask yourself questions about this whole situation, but also, what am I doing in life? Where do I want to go when this is over? What can I do to occupy my time now to make me feel healthy and happy? And basically, when you start I always keep lists. I think that's a great thing. What makes you feel good, what doesn't? It makes you look and see what works for you. But I think this is a fabulous time, even if you want to reinvent yourself, because many of us are having to work remotely, take online classes. We have to do things online. So I think it's the perfect time to start asking yourself the questions, what is it that makes me happy? What do I want to do? Before this pandemic, was I doing what I wanted? Did it make me happy? How can I change my life? You know, many people are even like sprucing up their backyards or living spaces and making it more of a haven, because we need to find comfort in these difficult times.
What do you say to somebody who's like really having dire times economically?
It's very difficult, but I think family and friends might be able to gather together and help in their community. I think it's really important. And I do know of people who have said, you know, I can't spend time alone, either for financial reasons or emotional ones, so they are going to live with their families for a time being.
Do you have a strategy, like a protocol that you can give somebody who doesn't have any idea about what their bliss is, what their passion is, what their purpose is? They're just lost. They're kind of have no context to their lives. I always think of purpose giving you a context to your life. There are people out there that have no context to their lives. How do you begin from the very beginning? Like, how do you pick yourself up by your bootstraps?
Yes, I think I have some tips for that. And basically, I wanted a quote from Charlie Chaplin. He said, and I love this quote, "As I begin to love myself, I found that anguish and emotional suffering are only warning signs that I was living against my own truth. Today I know this as authenticity." And also, authenticity is to create a life that feels good on the inside, not just what's on the outside. Wow. So I think it all starts with the person. What is it that you feel is your calling? Are you meant to be a teacher? Are you meant to be a writer or a cook? A doctor, nurse? What is it you're doing? And are you finding some fulfillment in that? And if you're not, maybe take a test. There are personality tests that will show you a little bit of a way to go. Maybe it's just keeping a list of the things that you like to do and looking at that list and see, how can I translate that into a career or a passion or a project? And so basically, bring it all in, and this is a good time to reflect and find those things that have meaning for you, and the next step when you do that is then maybe set some goals. Do I need to take a class? Maybe you need to find a mentor. Talk to people who are doing the things that you think you may want to do, and see stay, maybe take a volunteer, do an internship. I think we just have to be open to life possibilities. We might not have all the answers right away, but I think that's where gratitude and taking each day one day at a time comes in, because I always like to start the morning with a prayer, but also giving thanks, for what I have. Because when you do that, you realize, wow, I do have a lot. I have a family. I have, give thanks for nature, maybe where you live, your apartment, the morning coffee, little things. And it just makes you appreciate, and it gives you more of a positive mindset. And I think also what I subscribe to is eating healthy. And I have on my Simply Delicious Living blog, I have, recipes for people to live their best life.
We're definitely going to talk about that, Marianne. That's why we're here. But I think everything you said falls under the umbrella of having a plan, of having some kind of formula or recipe, if you will, to start off with. And I think that's everything you talked about reminds me of that. All right, we've got to take a break, Marianne. We'll come back and we'll talk some food. We got Marianne Radini Spencer on The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. Don't go away. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're talking to Marianne Radini Spencer, screenwriter, producer, author, journalist, recipe developer, and TV host. You're so prolific. And when I was watching your videos, Marianne, I was just struck by how full of life you are. And how excited you are to be alive. How excited you are to be alive.
I am.
I know. I can tell.
That is true.
It comes through. So food is this your latest thing? Because you've just done so many stuff. You're a novel. The novels really were kind of interesting to me. And you're so many things. Is this food thing new, or is it something you've always been doing your whole life? Or tell us a little bit about it.
I come from a large Italian-Irish family, and so we were always having many relatives over, and so I would help my mother and my grandmothers entertain, and I would collect recipes as a kid. Then as an adult, when I started working, I was a producer-writer at Cable News Network for a number of years, working in entertainment news, but also, of course, I was like one of the only women on staff at the time, and so I was delegated the cooking segment. So I started to produce cooking segments, and later I became a lifestyle writer for magazines and newspapers, and I have been a food editor, and doing the food editing and the production of cooking shows and things like that kind of led me to create my own cookbook, and I've actually been doing the PBS series for a number of years now out in Southern California, and people can watch it on my YouTube channel as well. But I love cooking, and I've always loved entertaining. And so it's just that's more of what I would say is a passion. It's a hobby, it's a passion, but it's also been part of my work. And as a writer, I would say my main goals in life are really telling stories, writing, and producing movies. And so basically, it kind of all blends together. But after writing all day long, I love to cook because it's a creative way to kind of just enjoy a meal with my family. And also when I love entertaining, it's just a great way to get away from the computer.
Is it like an art form?
It is. Some people are better at it than I am, I must admit. But my recipes are just simple, easy, healthy, and this is really the way I eat.
And also, don't forget one more thing. They're very pretty. They're very visually. They're very visual. Like you can tell, like they're made for TV. They're dressed up. I mean, when you look at some of these, they're gorgeous. They're really, really well done. So let's talk about food now in this crazy time that we're living in. What do you want people to know about how to eat for maximum effectiveness, particularly in this kind of corona crazy time we're living in?
Absolutely. And I would say fresh, natural. Those are the two big words, fresh and natural, and lots of fruits and vegetables. And I always say I love to have vegetables raw, as a snack all day long, or you can grill them, roast them. But, I tend to say you should almost have vegetables with almost every meal. And like even if you have eggs for breakfast, throw in some spinach in there.
Gotcha.
Or a smoothie, put some fruit and lots of veggies in your smoothie. For lunch, salad with a grilled piece of fish or chicken. Same thing for dinner. You might add in some pasta or potato, or you want to have some of those. Just keep it fresh and natural. And people these days are growing gardens now. I know a lot of people are working in their yards. So, it's a fun time, even if you have children, to show them, where their food comes from. But I think if you think sustainable and healthy and get away from all the things that have chemicals, if you go to the store and you pick up a box or a can or whatever, and you look at the ingredients and you don't know half of them, put it away.
That's a problem. That's a problem, right?
It's a big problem.
Half of them, 90% of them. How can a food have so many ingredients in it? How can a food possibly have that many ingredients in it? There's ingredient decks on salads that you get at Safeway. In the bag, there's an ingredient deck. I'm not kidding you, on the salad of all the stuff they have in there.
You really have to read the label. But go to your farmers markets. Check out Google online where your local farmers market is. You can go to those markets, even talk to the growers. Not every place has a farmer's market, but, try to find, if you don't have your own garden, try to go to the store and you can ask questions of some of the clerks, but really try to keep it fresh and natural, fresh produce,
Talk to us about people who don't have a lot of time. They're working, they got kids, they just don't have the time. How can you take advantage of some of these ideas without spending hours in the kitchen, without spending a lot of time going to farmers markets and shopping? Is there a quick way or a quicker, not quick, but a quicker way?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
All my recipes, most of them you can make in under 30 minutes. And I think you need to have a little bit of time in the kitchen, but, what you can do is, I would say, just really for dinner, if you have a nice salad, lots of vegetables in the salad, a grilled piece of chicken or fish, how long does that take? And you can toss in lots of vegetables there. There are things that you can do, and that's what I talk about. I teach people on my blog, choose their recipes, but do what works for you. I think if you make a list over the weekend or whenever your shopping day is, make sure you look in your cupboards, you look in your fridge, see what you need, get everything for the week. You might take a little bit of time planning out that. It will save you money. It's also save on food waste, but it will give you an idea of what you want to cook. And there are many tips that you can employ that will make it very quick for you, but healthy. I really say that it's so easy to eat healthy. You just have to make an effort. Some people, might just want to pop something in the microwave, but I don't think that's going to be good for your health long term.
What are 2 or 3 must-have devices, to be able to expedite all of these recipes and concepts and ideas that you're sharing?
I think that you have to have, definitely, in terms of utensils, don't need... Devices, not utensils, but machines. Or do you need any? No.
You don't need like a food processor or a Vitamix or a blender or something like that?
Well, a food processor is always a great thing to have, but I find it nice. You chop up the vegetables.
Got it.
You wash the vegetables. You don't really need much. Everyone needs a stove, maybe, and a cooktop, but you don't need a lot of fancy gadgets. I like to have smoothies in the morning, so I'll use a blender for that, but not every day.
What's your smoothie? What is your smoothie?
I love to put almond milk or Coke and spinach. I'll put in maybe a frozen banana, because I find when I freeze bananas, they really make a thick smoothie. I love that. And I'll put in fresh, maybe some frozen pineapple and blueberries, So that's mine. And then I'll usually use a protein powder sometimes.
What do you like? What kind of protein powder do you like? Whey? Soy? Pea?
I usually use the pea protein.
Uh-huh.
It just depends. You can have different flavors and different. I usually use vanilla because I like to actually taste the different fruits. But they have all kinds of organic, plant-based, as well as whey protein. I think you have to find the one you like.
What do you take on? What's your take on meat?
Chicken's good, lean chicken. I think lean, however you go. Research shows that it's better to have lean meat and fish. I know for myself, I eat more fish, and I think meatless meals, at least 1 or 2 a week, are really good, because not only does it help the environment, it can help your body.
Going low meat. All right, so real quick, we only got about a minute here. What's one thing you want people to know about how they can deal with everything that we're going through, whether it's through food or anything else? What's one thing you want people to know?
I think the most important thing is to keep yourself healthy, because you have to keep your immune system up. So that's why I say eat healthy and natural, and or as much as organically as you can, like close to nature. I also think that it's important to have gratitude in your life and give gratitude. It just boosts your well-being. I think contact with family and friends, if you can't see them, video conference, talk to them, make a schedule, do it every Sunday, every Wednesday. My family a lot of my relatives are back east. We do it twice a week now. And it's probably something we're going to continue because it's so lovely seeing their faces and talking to them. So I think keeping the connection in whatever way you can, and even if it's having a friend to social distance in your backyard, it's important to do that. And also exercise. Take a walk.
That's a good one.
Move.
Marianne, we're out of time, my dear. That was that was a fast half hour. Thank you so much. Marianne RadiniSpencer.com. Best of luck to you, and you're just an amazing human being. You're doing wonderful work. Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you. Take care.
Have a beautiful day. All right, Marianne Radini Spencer, producer, author, TV star, foodie. Thanks for listening to Brightside. That's all the time we have for today. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.